I'm Dan Andrews, very creative. Hi, I'm Stella and welcome to 30 Books. It's International Women's Day. I thought I would do my favourite Australian writer, who happens to be a woman, and I am going to be talking about Ruth Park. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Ruth Park, it's not just because of her writing alone, which is magnificent and I love. It's also the person she was and the type of writing she did. So when I was a child in grade 4, our teacher, Miss McDonald, read out Muddle Headed Wombat series by Ruth Park to us, and ever since then it was a love affair. But then when I got a little bit older, I discovered the Harp in the South novels, especially the Harp in the South and Poor Man's Orange. So these books, The Harp in the South and Poor Man's Orange, were published in about 1948, 1949, so it's post-war. They're set in Surrey Hills in Sydney, and I don't think there is really a writer out there who has come close to portraying Sydney in the way that Ruth Park does. It's very much alive, and I was reading these books when I had never been to Sydney, and then when I came up, when I finally went to Sydney, it evoked so much for me through these novels. I felt like I had already been there. So many people are very familiar with The Harp in the South and Poor Man's Orange. It's about the Darcy family who live at 12.5 Plymouth Street because 13 is unlucky, and it's just after World War II. It's in Surrey Hills, a very different Surrey Hills to what it is now. These are the slums of Surrey Hills. And they also, they take in lodges as well. And you've got Mama, you've got Dada, you've got Rowie or Rowena, and also Dola Darcy. And the stories are very much set from Dola Darcy's point of view. She's about 12, 13 years of age, so very formative years. She's still a child, but as the novel progresses and you go into Poor Man's Orange, she becomes a young woman. There's so much vitality in these books and about the love of Surrey Hills. It's a very Catholic, very migrant experience as well. There's razor gangs, there's sly grog shops. Dada is absolutely hopeless. He's an alcoholic, but at the same time you just love these characters. You love him. It's all their faults and their foibles. And Ruth Park does not shy away from violence, from poverty, from domestic violence, from abortion, from teenage pregnancy. It's all here, and they're just wonderful, beautiful books. And Mrs. was actually written after these two books, but it's the story of how Mama and Dada met each other. Now, I have to also mention these absolutely beautiful books, biographies, Fence Around the Cuckoo and Fishing in the Sticks, and they are just lovely. Ruth Park was, like all good Australians, Ruth Park was born in New Zealand, and the first is growing up in New Zealand, very poor, and her desire for an education which was denied to her because of poverty. She got a scholarship, but they couldn't afford anything else. And she felt that she couldn't be a writer unless she had an education. And she did become a writer. She became a journalist. And toward the end of the book, she meets Darcy Nylund, another Australian writer. And part 2 is about their relationship, also living in poverty, how stoic she was. When we read these type of books nowadays, you realise how stoic women had to be and how much was left to her as the mother of the children. She was as working mother, and how she had to care for her children, and she was also the breadwinner for a long time. And then Darcy Nylund died when she was 50, so she still had to carry on. So these are my picks for International Women's Day and great Australian writer Ruth Park. Hope you liked this. And that's your 30 books for this time round. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Stop reading.